You know something's off, but you keep pretending it's not. There's this moment, quiet, subtle, like a whisper in the back of your mind, where you know. You're sitting across from someone who used to light up when you entered the room. Their smile is half-hearted. Their words come slower. Their eyes, somewhere else. But you stay. You keep giving, showing up, hoping it'll go back to how it was. Because if you admitted what's really going on, that you're being used, it would wreck everything you've built in your mind. That emotional castle, all those illusions, you'd have to tear it all down, and that's terrifying. But let me ask you, how many times will you let someone borrow your soul while they guard theirs like a locked vault? We don't lose people. We lose illusions. When they pull away, when they stop replying the way they used to, you tell yourself it's just a phase. Maybe they're stressed. Maybe they're tired. Maybe Mercury's in retrograde. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You're not losing them. You're losing who you thought they were. You're waking up from a fantasy where attention meant love, where convenience felt like connection. And yeah, that hurts. But what hurts more? Staying stuck in a relationship where you are loved for your usefulness, not for who you are. The human heart is a terrible negotiator, and honestly, a bit of a drama queen. It'll strike a deal with red flags like it's buying discounted love on clearance. You don't text me for 3 days? Totally fine, you're busy. You forgot my birthday? No worries, you're not great with dates. You only show up when your life's on fire. Aw, I must be your emotional fire extinguisher. Let's be real, that's not love. That's you playing therapist, life coach, and part-time cheerleader, while getting paid in breadcrumbs and confusion. And yes, your heart means well. It wants to believe the best. It says things like, they're just going through a rough patch. Okay, but are they going through a rough patch, or are you the patch holding their mess together? Because if someone only reaches out when they're drowning and ghosts when you're gasping, that's not a relationship. That's a one-way rescue mission. You are not a 24/7 emotional vending machine. Press A1 for support. Press B2 for validation. Nah. You're a whole person, not a snack dispenser for the emotionally unavailable. So stop offering therapy sessions in the name of love. You deserve a partner, not a patient. Sometimes they don't love you. They just love how you love them. That's the plot twist nobody warns you about. They're not in love with your soul. They're in love with your service. You were the emotional Airbnb, cozy, available, and 5 stars for hospitality. They didn't choose you. They chose how you made them feel, like they were the main character in a movie you were directing, lighting, and clapping for. They loved the echo of your admiration, not the actual you. You were the mirror, and baby, they loved the mirror, until it started reflecting truth instead of flattery. And here's the real kicker. When you stop clapping, when your love stops performing like a personal hype squad on demand, they don't fight for you. They vanish, because they were never with you. They were with their own reflection in your attention. And the second that mirror cracked, when you got tired, when you asked for reciprocity, when you finally said, hey, I matter too, the illusion broke. And so did the connection. It's not that you weren't enough. It's that they were never really looking at you in the first place. There's a name for this feeling. Emotional debt. It's when someone makes you feel guilty just for taking care of yourself, like you're doing something wrong for needing space or rest or a moment to breathe. Suddenly, you're the selfish one, just because you finally said, I can't right now. They say things like, I don't know what I'd do without you, or You're the only person I can count on. Sounds sweet, right? Almost romantic. But look closer. That's not affection. That's pressure wrapped in a compliment. And you, kind, loyal, always showing up, you fall for it. Because deep down, you want to be that person. The rock, the safe place, the one who never leaves. But here's the truth that stings a little. Being needed isn't the same as being loved. One is about what you give. The other is about who you are. And you, my friend, deserve someone who sees you, not just the comfort you provide when their world gets messy. Carl Jung wasn't kidding when he said, "The shadow is where the gold is." Let's get honest for a second. Not Instagram deep, but actual deep. Jung said we don't grow by chasing the light. We grow by turning around and facing the parts we don't want to see. Yep, even the uncomfortable stuff. Especially the uncomfortable stuff. Like realizing some people didn't really love you. They loved the feeling they got around you. Your kindness, your attention, the way you always made them feel understood, like a free therapist with good vibes. The late-night texts, the deep convos, that emotional spark. It felt magical. But it wasn't about you. It was about how they felt in your presence. And if you're being really honest, somewhere in the quiet, in that part of you that always knows, you felt it. But you hoped it wasn't true. You gave it more time, more chances, because you believed love could grow if you just poured enough into it. But here's the gold, right where Jung said it'd be. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're just waking up. You're not crying for them. You're crying for the version of you that believed them. That sting in your chest, that ache in your gut. It's not about losing them. It's about grieving your own hope, the fantasy, the imagined future, the belief that maybe, just maybe, this time someone would stay. But you can't keep mourning someone who was never really present. You can't keep lighting yourself on fire hoping they'll finally feel warm. So how do you know if someone loves you or just uses you? Simple. Watch what happens when you say no. No, I can't be there this time. No, I'm not available. No, that doesn't work for me. Do they respect you more or disappear faster? People who love you respect your boundaries. People who use you resent them. Some people disappear when they're done taking from you. And that's your blessing in disguise. It's not rejection. It's revelation. Their silence, their distance. That's the mask falling off. That's the moment the emotional spell breaks. So instead of chasing, clinging, questioning what you did wrong, try this instead. Thank them internally for showing you the truth. Because now you get to stop playing a role in someone else's story. And finally, write your own. This is where you stop being useful and start being powerful. Let's be real. Walking away isn't easy. It burns. You'll feel the pull to explain yourself, to get closure, to say, just one more thing. Don't. Closure is a luxury they already cashed out. What you need now is clarity. And you've got that. You know who they are. More importantly, you know who you are. Minimalist living isn't just about stuff. It's about people too. You can declutter your space, your schedule, and yes, your soul. Cutting ties with emotional users, that's self-improvement, that's self-control, that's self-respect. You're not here to carry someone who walks just fine when they want something. You're not here to keep relationships alive through CPR. You're here for mutual love, growth mindset, emotional intelligence, not manipulation masked as companionship. When you stop overfunctioning, you see who's been underinvesting. That's the final test. When you stop texting first, when you stop fixing things, when you stop trying to be enough. Watch what happens. Most of the time, nothing. They're gone. And that silence is loud, but it's honest. The people meant for you will notice your absence and move toward you. The ones using you, they'll ghost you. Let them. And now, my friend, it's time to do what they fear the most. Disappear. Not out of spite. Not to teach them a lesson, but because you've finally learned yours. You don't owe anyone your energy just because they've gotten used to having it. You don't have to keep proving your worth to people who wouldn't recognize gold if you handed it to them wrapped in velvet. You don't have to beg to be loved. You are love. And that's enough. Join me next time on Better Me, where self-improvement is serious. But we don't have to be.